over there. Yeah, just grab it and bring it over here.
No.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, so where was I?
He was going over.
Oh, yeah, what was a stall? A stall is a compartment in a stable or a shed for the accommodation of one animal. And what is a chariot? It's a light two-wheeled vehicle for one person, usually drawn by two horses. Okay, so now we're going to read 1 Kings 4:26. What's that? Solomon had 40,000 stalls of horses for his chariots. So, if a stall is used for one animal, then it is natural to assume that if there were 40,000 stalls, then there were 40,000 horses in them. So we know that there were 40,000 horses waiting for his chariots. Solomon never gave a number of his chariots. Real simple. The stalls was filled with horses. It was for his chariots. Yeah. So, 40,000 stalls of horses, 40,000 horses for his chariots. We don't know how many chariots. Then, 2 Chronicles 9:25 states, Solomon had 4,000 stalls for his horses and chariots. So, 1 Kings, the stalls were for his chariots with horses in them. 2 Chronicles, we have stalls with nothing in them for horses and chariots. So that's the difference.
There has to be something in them if they have chariots in them, you know.
No, it says 4.
40,000. It says 4,000 stalls of.
No, you're mixing it up. You're mixing it up.
Read the other one with.
Okay. 2 Chronicles 9:25. I thought you had a Bible. My bad. 2 Chronicles 9:25 says this: Solomon had 4,000 stalls for horses and chariots. So nothing were in the stalls at this point because they were for the horses and chariots. The first one says 40,000 stalls of horses, so horses were in them. Chariots were not. They were for the chariots. So there was horses waiting in stalls for his chariots. And this one is stalls waiting for horses and chariots. Right?
Hold on.
So you got it?
Yeah, I got the verse.
All right. So we know, reiterate one more time, we know that the king says 40,000 stalls with horses in them, chariots not in them, they're waiting for the chariots. 2 Chronicles 9:25 says we have 4,000 stalls, nothing in them, they're waiting for horses and chariots.
So what are you saying again? I'm trying to.
Okay. I'm just saying what the scripture said. I'm just trying to get us on one accord, one understanding. Amos 3:3 says, we walk together because we agree. So I'm trying to agree so we can walk together. It says Solomon had 40,000 stalls of horses. So there were horses in these stalls, and they were for his chariots. Chariots were not involved yet. 2 Chronicles 9:25 says Solomon had 4,000 stalls. It don't mention anything in them this time. And they're waiting for horses and chariots. Right?
Right. You know what I mean? Because the stalls were for horses.
Right.
It's not about how many stalls for horses. It's about how many stalls did he have.
So is that it? So the question was, okay, a stall is just something you place horses in.
Right.
Okay. Now, to understand how many stalls did he have, did you know that he had dominion over the whole city? He had stalls all through the city. Let me read Second Chronicles 8:6. It says, and Beloth, and all the store cities that Solomon had. He had mad cities. And all the chariot cities. Matter of fact, let me finish reading 2 Chronicles 9:25 first. It says, let me get that, and then I'm going to read you how many stalls he had. He don't give a number because he had, I'm pretty sure, the stalls were used for the horses, for the chariots, in war.
Well, I know.
So he had stalls all through his city. So hold on one second.
I understand that, but the thing is, it says in one part that he says he has 40,000 stalls for horses, and then the other part says he has 4,000.
Okay, so let me get that for you. And Solomon had 4,000 stalls for horses and chariots, and 12,000 horsemen. Now, we have to read it fully. Whom he bestowed in the chariot cities and with the king at Jerusalem. So he had stalls all through the chariot cities. Okay, so
how many stalls did he have?
Well, he had many stalls throughout the cities.
How many stalls does it say that he had in those two verses?
Okay, now we're sticking with these two verses. That's fine. This is what I wanted to do. So now, in 1 Kings 4:26 states, Solomon had 40,000 stalls.
Oh, I'm playing the game. What you doing?
Right?
Oh, say that again?
In 1 Kings 4:26 states, and I'm going to stop where it says stalls. I'm not going to read any further. Solomon, because since stalls is, the number. Solomon had 40,000 stalls. Okay? Second Chronicles 9:25 states Solomon had 4,000 stalls. So is that the problem?
You can read the whole thing.
Nah, I just want to start right there because I want to focus on stalls. Is that the problem that one book said 40,000 and the other book said 4,000?
Yeah, that is the problem. So are you saying like he had two separate locations where stalls were?
Well, I just read in the scriptures that he had dominion over plenty cities. So he was, a king. He went to war quite often. He had stalls all through the city. I can read. I can read through Chronicles, and I can read Samuel. I can read different places where he had these chariots and horses placed strategically in different cities, to defend the city. So he always has stalls in different places, ready for war. He won't have in one city if he, like what would that do for the other cities if they was to try to invade them? So he has stalls in all the cities, as it says in the book. That's why I wanted to make sure that y'all read the book. He didn't just have stalls in one location. It's all through the cities that he dominated. So, but dealing with these two verses. Now, we know that traditionally stalls are for one animal, right? And now Solomon is saying in 2 Chronicles 9:25 that we now have stalls for horses and chariots. Then we know that all stalls aren't just fit for one animal. The second definition for stalls are a stable or shed for horses or cattle. So now we know stalls is like a shed. You can make them as big as you want. So he made stalls fit for horses, one animal, and then he made some stalls fit for horses and chariots this time. So.
Hold on. Say it again.
Okay. Stalls are can be for one animal or more than one. You could build them. A stall's like a shed. You could build them as big as you want, or a barn. You could make them small. You can make them big. We know in 1 Kings it says that the stalls were filled with horses waiting for chariots. So we know that those stalls had only one animal in them. This one, 2 Chronicles 9:25, clearly states that these stalls are waiting for horses and chariots. They're for horses and chariots, so we need horses and chariots to fit in these. So now we know that these stalls are bigger than the ones in 1 Kings. Okay? I'm not using Yakub's technology.
I know,
The only difference is, in the of and for, is that 1 Kings is telling you that the stalls are filled with horses, and 2 Chronicles 9 is telling you that the stalls are not filled yet, but they're waiting to be filled by horses and chariots. And that's why I was saying, there's no contradiction. You got to read it.
Yeah, I guess. From the way you explain it, it seems like there's no contradiction.
Now the problem is that the brother put his faith on the line. That's the problem.
Look, that statement, "put your faith on the line," is really a foolish statement because just because you can or you can prove that this contradiction is not a contradiction, actually, doesn't mean that there are not other ones that exist.
Okay.
You just disprove this one.
That is fair, but I specifically, if you go back, did you download the audio?
No, I didn't. But I remember that part. I'm saying.
All right. Well,
you put the faith on the line, and he was like, "Yeah, I do remember that part."
Right.